Welcome to Namala Yoga. So we're going to start lying down today. If you're not already, let's make our way down to the earth. Of course, knowing that those transitions are already a part of our yoga practice as we come down to the earth, and maybe keep the knees high if that feels better for the lower spine. Maybe we're going to take the feet together and knees coming wide. So finding a Supta if it works for you today. Feeling that each of the toes can press against the opposite toe. Or maybe it's just the blades of the feet that you're pressing together to engage a little bit more, to work a little bit more into that external rotation. Maybe just relaxing down. Finding a connection to your breath, finding a connection into the earth. The blades of the feet, or maybe the heels if you're maybe just in a regular Shavasana, or the soles of the feet if you've got your knees high. What else have you got connected into the earth today? The buttocks and parts of the back, maybe all of the back, maybe not. Have that awareness and lengthen a little into the spine. With each breath in, getting a little bit longer. And even if we are working perhaps a little bit, pressing blades of the feet in together, where can we soften? Where can we release? And I invite you, in whichever position you're in, to just release and relax down for the next few breaths. To really focus on that breath, coming in, all the way in. And starting to lengthen that exhalation as that breath comes out, getting longer, getting slower with that breath. Deeply in, slowly, softly out. And if it gets too much for you physically in your Supta, find any other position that works for you. So you enjoy a little bit of stillness and this deep connection to our breath. Noticing we can still get a little bit longer in the spine, a little softer, perhaps around the eyes. With each breath cycle, we're more aware of the physical body and also aware of any thoughts trying to encroach upon the space that we're creating. Letting them come and letting them go again, just as easily. Coming back to the breath, coming back to yourself in this moment. And then we're going to start to, with the eyes still closed, bring the knees up towards the sky if we haven't already. Maybe heel toe the feet wide, maybe as wide as the mat. And let the knees fall in towards one another. Stay connected into your breath and just notice the changes that happen throughout the rest of the body as we change that positioning just with the legs. Stay with your breath. Stay in this moment. Stay in your practice. Notice what wants to steal you away. Observe, accept, and then come back to the breath. Come back to this new moment. Some of you might even wiggle those feet a little bit wider and come to even more of an internal rotation. So you stay getting long into the spine, all the way up through to the base of the skull. Neck nice and long, maybe a little bit of work going on, a little bit of discomfort even, but no pain. And then your breath be a guide all the way in. Longer, softer, slower exhalations, really allowing you to sink into your practice today. We're going to bring the hands over the heart. Setting any heartfelt intentions, maybe just for this practice, maybe for life in general. And then starting to release the legs, release the hands, maybe finding some circles. You bring the arms up towards the sky. You might bring the legs up too and circle into the ankles. Wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. Say hi to the extremities. And again, notice what you have in contact with the earth now. See if you can get a little bit longer into the spine. Maybe it's just tucking the chin a little bit and extending into the back of the neck. Spreading fingers and toes, holding for a breath. And then squeezing them up into little fists, scrunching the toes for a whole round of breath. And then opening them up again, creating as much space as you can between fingers and toes, a whole round of breath, and then bringing the knees into the chest. Let's take our awareness into the mid-body now. To the lower spine, as we find some circles with the knees and a beautiful massage around the sacrum, the top of the pelvis, into the lower back. Still nice and long throughout the spine. And then maybe we're bringing the knees in circles, coming together and apart. Again, noticing how that changes your contact points with the earth, creates a massage. Back in the opposite direction as well. Staying connected to your breath. And then taking hands and feet back on up to the sky. We might roll a little bit onto the back of the body. Again, noticing the contact points of the earth change as we lift those hips. So if that's not really working for you today, take the feet down and let's lift the hips that way instead. With a little Setu Dandasana. And again, notice those contact points that we have with the earth and how they change. Not just the locations, but also the pressure and the sensations that that causes. And then maybe some of us are going to roll it all the way up. Nice and slow. Bend the knees and let's find a forward fold. And again, different body parts in contact with the earth. We've still got this flexion at the hips, but how does this new position change the sensations in the back of the body? Notice what contact points you have with the earth. And let's inhale and really let the heart flow forwards. Not worrying about down too much today. Getting that length and opening forwards of the heart for a couple more breaths. And then releasing, coming back up. And as we do, we're going to step those feet in. Just going to shush back on my mat a little bit. Stepping the feet all the way in so we can get a nice little hug. Some of you might even bring the toes up away from the earth. So we're just connecting now through the sitting bones, through the buttocks into the earth. But of course, if you need to take hands down to the earth or feet down to the earth as well, take that extra support. Some of us might be able to take the hands away and hold that position. Take a beautiful breath there. And then maybe as we come back, we're going to catch behind the thighs this time. Start to bring those heels up a little bit, really with that flexion at the hips coming with you, that length in the spine that we've been working on so far in this practice coming with you. Get as tall as you can. And then some of you might even take those hands out. Now we've got to really use those hip flexors. Keep that length in the spine. Find a little smile while you're here. stay connected to a beautiful deep breath. Feel that inner strength. Take anything you need down to the earth. It could be hands, it could be feet. Let's all do that now. Hands and feet coming down and lifting the hips up. So now we're getting a nice stretch over those hips. If you need to take fists to the earth instead, that's a great option if you've got some issues with the wrists or the elbows, or if it just feels better today. And check out what's going to happen with the head. Maybe a little bit of movement. Maybe you're looking straight ahead. Maybe you're looking up to the sky. Make sure that we're not just dropping back with the neck though. And then releasing down. As we do, we're going to find a Sukhasana, cross-legged position if we can. So if this isn't working for you, sit up on some blocks or up onto a cushion perhaps. Or find another position that does work for you. You're going to find some circles with the belly button. Maybe starting off just little circles. Maybe going a little bit deeper into it as it feels good. Coming back in. All the way back into center. And then we're going to change the cross to the legs. Maybe you're going to take the hands to heart, extend, and then switch them over that way. And then we'll be coming back in the opposite direction. Getting wider into those circles, spiraling out. It feels good. Working into those lower 3 chakras, stimulating, but maybe also bringing it up into the heart space a little bit as well. Bringing those circles back in. All the way back in to the center. And then we're going to take those hands to the heart. Maybe you're going to come up into that little Navasana, stretch the legs out, and then coming back down to earth. This is a little bit intense for you. We're going to take the hands behind, just lean back into them a little bit and lift the heart. Maybe it feels good to go there first anyway, before we come into our forward fold. And check in. Maybe you're going to go a bit wider just by pushing forwards. Legs coming wide. What's happening at the toes? Maybe you've got them pointed because it feels good today. Maybe you've got them flexed, toes spread, heels down, and legs engaged. And you're just relaxing into it today. What feels good? Coming into a forward fold whenever you're ready. And that might not be today, and that's okay. Find somewhere to stay, somewhere to breathe, somewhere that feels really beautiful. Just for you. And then coming on up. You do, we're going to bring one heel in. We're going to maybe lift that opposite leg and see if we can't cross it all the way to the outside. And then keep turning in that direction towards that foot. Find a beautiful twist. Hello, baby. Maybe you're looking behind today, maybe off to the side, maybe you're gazing forward. Where feels good, where feels really useful for you today. Keep lifting up through the heart. Keep breathing deep and stay connected to your breath. What's changing as we stay? And then as we're releasing, notice those sensations. We're going to lift that foot if we can. We're going to take it all the way back around to where we took it from. Maybe come into a forward fold, Shasana style, over that extended leg. You might have the hands to the earth, might be catching a hold, maybe peace fingers coming to the mound of the big toe, mound of the little toe. Maybe it's a strap coming to those places so that you can really feel into it without bounding down into it. Feel the belly button coming towards that thigh. Maybe there's quite a twist going on to get there. Maybe not so much. So you find that right place to be, that right place to stay. Notice what changes as we really take that breath in deep. To let that breath go slowly and softly. Releasing. Again, can we lift that leg up, take it all the way back up to the outside of the opposite leg? Or do we need to take it to the inside? That's okay too, that's a nice modification. Wherever we are with the leg, we're going to find the twist in the opposite direction. So very softly, you might just be catching around that knee, or you might be going in deep with a little tuck in with the elbow, so that we can really press in to lift up, to lengthen, and then to twist. Maybe we're going to take a little mudra with this hand, wherever it might be. Going for the patience mudra, so tip of the middle finger, tip of the thumb. Keep lifting through the heart. And maybe now we add a little tick-tock to the head. Or a little scoop. Or just a little bit of free movement. Maybe stillness. And what changes as we stay? Releasing. Two choices. Either come down with that heel towards the hip as we take a forward fold, or let's extend those legs long and find our forward fold. Maybe do a little bit of one, a little bit of the other, and see which one really feels good today. Let your breath be a guide. Tune into the sensations. Can we expand into the pose? Or do we feel super restricted? Are we growing into it with each breath? Or is it becoming strained and tense? Let's try and find the former, somewhere we can grow into it, expand into it. Using the breath to expand even more, with those inhalations coming in deep, with the exhalations. Where can you soften? And what can you release? Coming on up. We're going to release the legs. Maybe we're going to lift them up and extend them out wide. Again, you've got that choice to maybe open into the heart a little bit if that feels good, or to come into a forward fold. Maybe you're going for something different than last time, or maybe we're going for the same thing. We can notice those changes. And then we notice the new changes occurring breath to breath. Inhale to exhale. Coming up. When you're ready, we're going to be bringing the other heel in. Hope we can remember which side we did before. And then lifting up and crossing over, continuing with that twist in that direction. And check in here. What have you got connected into the earth? Hello, baby. So what have you got connected into the earth? Where can you press down to lift up? Are you gazing behind, off to the side, or to the front? Finding that right place to be. Using the breath. Being guided by the breath. Softening around the eyes, around the jaw, and anywhere else that we don't need to work. And what's changing as we stay? As we're releasing out, can we take that leg back to where we took it from? Continue twisting in that direction. Adjust as you need to. So you go towards Ajna Shasana. And check in. Where are we gazing? What's happening with the hands? So we may be catching peace fingers to the mound of the big toe, mound of the little toe. We're using a strap to find a nice lift and lengthening into the spine. What kind of breath are you going for here? Let it be deep and full. What can you soften with those exhalations? What can you let go of? And allow yourself to release. Allow yourself to be fully in this moment. Use not just the posture, but the breath as well. What's changing as we stay? Not staying the same. Let's accept whatever we're finding, even if it's thoughts of the outside world coming into the mind. Let's accept them and let them go. Let anything else go on any level. And as they're coming up, we lift that foot again, take it to the outside once more. We'll come to the inside if that's better for you. Maybe we're just going to catch a round loop and hook that elbow over, or we're going to come to the outside of that thigh with the elbow. Maybe we're going to go for a little mudra while we're here as well, for patience. And what's happening at the head? Maybe a little movement, a little tick-tock, or a scoop. Maybe there's stillness as you find somewhere to stay, and that movement continues. But make sure as well, with the breath, we're lifting and lengthening. With the heart, lifting with each inhale, lengthening up. Maybe going a little bit deeper into that twist if it works, if it feels right. What happens as you stay? And then releasing. As you do, two choices. Either heels coming into the hips and stacking those knees for a forward fold. Or maybe extending the legs long, but keeping that cross if it works. And finding forward fold here instead. So get connected into the breath here, and these beautiful forward folds. It's time to really go within. Feel the heart lengthening forward as space opens up in the lower spine, mid spine, upper spine. Where is that space opening up for you? Or does it not really feel like space is opening up today? Observing the sensations that we're finding, that we're creating today, and accepting those observances, not labeling them good or bad. Just coming back to the breath, deeply in, letting go of with that exhalation. How can you release a little bit more? And if we're coming up, maybe we're going to uncross the legs for a moment. Inhale, lifting those hands high. Exhaling, hands back down to heart center. And what's next is up to you. Namaste, beauties. Much love.